This is a verse that gets quoted all the time by Christianity as well as by Messianics as they battle over what it means. But the context of it should be very simple and very clear, because he didn't say verse 17 without saying verses 1 through 16. This is all part of the same message. He's talking. He didn't stop, go to another city, and start a whole new conversation. So this is flowing straight out of the quote-unquote Beatitudes as we look at them. The blessed are, etc. He says, do not think that I came to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to complete or fulfill. I had a conversation with a mainstream person recently, and I said, look, you need to understand that the Greek word there, translated as complete or fulfill, is the same word when he said, I have come so that your joy might be fulfilled. So get rid of all your joy, it's done. Let's translate words consistently, please. If you're going to say that complete here means done away with, finished, completed, no longer necessary for anybody else, then joy has been wiped out as well. Now, if we understand the joy verse to mean I came so that your joy may be filled to overflowing, to the measure above measure, shaken, stirred, packed down, etc., running over, then we also can understand when he said, I didn't come to destroy but to complete. I came to show you what it looks like when it's done to its fullness. I've come to show you what it looks like when it's done completely. People had not done it completely up to that point. So I want to show you what it looks like. The fruit of it. He said, I did not come to destroy. That's really the funny part, is that they'll read the verse where he says, I didn't come to destroy. So then he goes, okay, but so then the next half of the sentence is, but I'm here to wipe it out. Isn't that essentially the same as destroying? I didn't come to destroy, just to wipe it out and make it evil and bad and that you shouldn't be doing it. And that's what Christianity has turned it into. He says, I didn't come to do that. And by the way, he's saying this in the way, look, I didn't come to embarrass my father, to undermine anything he taught, to destroy his instructions. Now, there is a possibility also that this is an idiomatic Hebraic phrase. I cannot prove this. I don't know the source, but I've heard over the years many times that back in those days when there was a Torah discussion, and we're going to see one here in a few verses. We're probably not going to go as far as that, but when we get to, say, verse 20, 21, 22, and he starts talking about, you heard of old, you shall not murder. There's a Torah discussion. He's going to have a little midrash. He said, look, I'm going to give you the good midrash. See, when they were going to midrash in those days, this is, again, urban legend, don't know if it's true, can't prove it. But it seems like it makes sense. That when a person midrashed or gave his little discussion as to what he thought in his interpretation a particular piece of Torah meant, and he did a bad job about it, they said, you destroyed it. You destroyed the prophets. You destroyed the Torah. And when they did a good job, they were called and talked about as having fulfilled or completed it. So that's a possibility as well. But let's understand, he also is talking about himself, who's being accused on a regular basis by the Pharisees and scribes, maybe not at this point too much yet, but certainly going forward he will be, of destroying, undermining the prophets and the Torah. And he's saying up front, I'm about to start my ministry here. I'm really launching into it. Big first, Sermon on the Mount here, so to speak. And I'm going to make sure that you understand I didn't come to destroy anything. I came to fulfill it. In other words, I'm going to tell you what it was meant in the fullness of its intention. Okay, we talk about that quite a bit, that understanding things from the point of the letter of the law and the fullness of it, it's the intention of it, the spirit of it, so to speak. Not spirit like, say, the Pentecostals will tell you, or whatever, but the charismatics, but I'm talking about it from, as we know, when we say the spirit of the law, we mean how the writers who put it together intended it. Because you know how you could take any law and you can bend and twist it to your own destruction, so to speak, because the wording may allow for you to do that, but the key is, what did the person who wrote it intend? See, that's what the constitutional people are doing all the time now in our own government. I'm not picking on anybody in particular, not going to say anything about it, but understand that there are arguments that are going on right now in our government because they're arguing over constitutional stuff, and part of the problem is interpreting what the writers of it meant. What did the person who when they voted and put it together and had it written into law, what did they intend it to be used for? How was it supposed to be interpreted? And you know what? Sometimes it's 1 or 2 or 3 sentences with not a lot of detail, and that leaves a lot of room for confusion. And so he's saying, look, I didn't come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I'm not here to undermine. In other words, I'm not here to undermine anything. I'm here to fulfill, to complete things that were said about me, and to show you what it looks like when done in its complete way. Now bear in mind that this is all connected to the light and the lamp in verse 15 and 16, 14, 15, and 16. You as a light of the world, you as a light to the world, are to make sure that you're not destroying the Torah prophets, but that you are fulfilling them. There was an intention of the prophets. What was the prophet's intention? To get the people to keep the covenant. Let's keep it simple. Every prophet was there to wake up the people to their obligation covenant-wise. And so he said, look, if you're going to be a light of the world, you're not going to let your light be put away under a basket or whatever else it is, but you're going to let it shine before men, but you're going to do it in a way that does not destroy or undermine the prophets, including Moses, the first and foremost of the prophets. But you're going to do it in a way that shows that it is being fulfilled. The intention of it is being fulfilled or completed.